Hello, and welcome to No Such Thing as a Bad Movie podcast. I'm April Atmansky.
My name's Justin the Glue.
And I'm Colin Cunningham.
The bombs are falling!
Oh my God. April, there's a bird in the house.
Wait, is that supposed to be a bird? It's some kind of Christmas bird?
It's still...
Oh.
It's still Christmas, folks. This is an antique Christmas ornament from Colin's childhood.
It's horrifying. It sounds like the bombs are falling.
It looks like the sphere from Phantasm or something like that. It's a Christmas decoration. You put it up in your tree.
It's a silver bauble, and believe it or not, that's supposed to be a bird.
Is it supposed to be in 1952? Is it supposed to remind people from the Blitz? Like...
From 1950.
Dropping the bombs.
It's an heirloom. Anyway, it's still Christmas, folks, and we watched two movies today that are both sequels, that both have extensive flashbacks to the first movie, and are both Christmas classics.
Like I said earlier, it feels like we watched 4 movies
It's
today.
crazy. So we watched Silent Night, Deadly Night, Part 2, or maybe just 2, and Feeders 2, Sleigh Bells.
So Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 is pretty famous. Everybody listening to this knows this movie from the scene where the guy goes, "Garbage Day!"
Garbage Day. I actually remember the exact circumstance I first saw that clip.
What was it? Like?
It was like when I first moved to Toronto and we were watching funny videos and my friend showed me that clip on our laptop.
And you're like, and
I
by
was like,
friends
what
I
is
mean
that?
no one. I'm by myself.
It was my friend Arthur, if he's out there. But
Rest in peace, Arthur.
yeah, he got shot on Garbage Day. It's an awful coincidence.
Yeah, well, I mean, I had seen this video popping up around the internet. I didn't know what movie it was from, but
It's weird that I'm shocked that you two, as different movie aficionados, had not seen this film.
different
No,
movie aficionados.
I definitely had it on my radar for a while, but I had no opportunity to see it. Like I just
Yeah, I mean, we just watched the first one like
a couple days ago.
2 nights ago.
And you guys
Crazy,
were like,
crazy
"Hey, let's watch the second one."
Might as well.
And I like kept warning you. I'm like, "This has a lot of flashbacks from the first one in it." And you're like, "Yeah, we're fine."
Little did we know, like
Little
the
did we
first
know.
40 minutes is just the first movie.
It feels like, first of all, it opens up, I guess it's for anyone who saw the first one, the main character dies, but he had a little brother, which you never
Richie.
really... Yeah, you never really see. He's just in the car in his little...
In the first, one of the first couple scenes in the first movie.
Yeah, he's in his like little baby seat as the parents are killed, and you never really see him again.
By Santa Claus. For people who haven't seen Silent Night,
Yeah.
Deadly Night, Part 1.
He's not
Spoiler.
a
First
character.
blood.
He's the main character in Part 2 is not a character in Part 1. They
No.
just shoehorned him in.
So all these flashbacks that we see, you actually see like another little kid standing off to the side. He's like, "That's Richie, my little brother. Remember him?
Yeah,
He
so
was here all along."
that's how
Ricky.
yeah. He's telling the psychologist or psychiatrist. He's recounting literally the
plot.
entire thing.
And like Richie from the get-go goes, "Well, I wasn't there. My brother Billy told me what happened." And eventually he just drops out because you just see cops doing stuff.
See scenes
Yeah.
that Ricky or
Could not have
Billy was not
possibly
there
have
for
seen.
at all.
And like we have to point out that this scene with Richie, like when he's introduced, you slowly see the world's biggest recorder come out and get like looped around.
Yeah, it's like a reel-to-reel tape recorder.
And then the world's tiniest mic gets pushed toward Ricky so he could tell
Yeah.
his story.
It comes
this
back
is-
later though.
Yeah, so I mean, this scene is this going on. It's like every little detail about how you hook up this tape recorder, and Justin's like, "Yeah, they're just padding it out to 88 minutes."
Little
or
did we
whatever.
know how much padding was actually in this movie.
So much. Like it's famous for having. We looked online. I think 25 minutes of the first film.
It feels longer.
It really well. There's like a little bit of grown-up Ricky in the room, like talking to the psychiatrist in between scenes. So I guess when that is all together, it's like 45 minutes or something until the real movie starts.
What did you guys think of the first one when you watched it a few weeks ago?
I thought it was fine.
I really liked it. I think that I liked the different perspective that you usually get because the main character, like you learn about how he's abused as a child. And I was saying, like, I don't really feel like it was his fault that he turned into a murderous Santa. He was horribly abused by as this Mother Superior, this crazy nun.
He witnessed his parents murdered by a Santa.
Every child in that movie is traumatized horribly. It's like,
well, as we see in this one as well, because we see flashbacks, that like a whole orphanage gets to witness two Santas gunned down.
in one day,
on Christmas Christmas
one
Day.
day. It's amazing. On Christmas Day.
And the guy who like guns down the first Santa gets to continue to work with the kids.
Yeah, he's still the only cop that's there to protect them.
Some innocent. I think they're like, he was the janitor.
I was like, yeah,
They say
the
he's
janitor.
deaf, and that's why he didn't stop when the cop was like, "Get away from that child!" And then they retcon it, and that child that was getting the candy cane or whatever from the
Is
janitor
Richie.
Was
Santa
supposed to
was
be,
actually
yeah,
Ricky.
Ricky or
Ricky,
Richie.
it's one of the-
Ricky.
I think
Ricky
it's Ricky.
Caldwell. And Ricky, played by Eric Freeman. We got to talk about him a little bit.
Man,
The
he's
breakout
fantastic.
star of this,
Yeah.
this
Now,
movie.
well, there's actually there's 3 breakout stars.
Yeah, that's right. Because it's
There's-
Ricky, his left eyebrow, and his right eyebrow.
Holy crap. We were trying it because this guy, it's like they're trying to outperform him.
Every line,
They're gunning
just
for their own
dancing.
award.
Yeah, because when he talks, every syllable
Every
he
syllable.
says, his eyebrows jump up and down.
He kind of punctuates with his eyebrows up.
And we were trying to do it, staring at each other, and it's like really hard.
It's difficult, but he does it.
If he
It's
does it in
amazing.
every scene, he must have been so tired in between every take. Just his
Like he's so
his
sweaty.
his
Now he's
forehead.
getting like this personal
eyebrow
massage in
I
between
was going to
takes.
say he's got eyebrow abs, little six pack.
He probably
He's got those
does.
electrical stimulators
Well, we got to point out that Ricky in this film is ripped.
Yeah,
he's in
he's
his white
huge.
T-shirt. And he's like, yeah, when I kill people, I guess I went to the gym as well.
He's
At one point, he
awesome.
has his shirt off, and it's like a 6-pack, and then another little 6-pack that's all folded up underneath.
He's kind of leaning down a bit, so his
Yeah.
abs, but it
They're
makes
compressed.
it look like
Yeah.
he's got 6-pack. He has 6-pack, but then he's got let's put 4 more abs in there, and
And he's chewing every line of dialogue. Nom, nom, nom,
he's
the-
awesome.
He's so good. He has this crazy voice because he kind of can. There's a couple scenes before he goes really crazy with his girlfriend. He's talking normally, and then he has this crazy voice, which is Christian Slater meets some evil maniacal supervillain.
Yeah, if you've ever seen the Garbage Day clip, it's all there.
Yeah, but
Garbage Day.
it's kind of like a Jack Nicholson too. And it talks like this.
I think that my favorite part of
eyes
this
are all
movie is that it was the first film by director Lee Harry, who was an editor before this, and he directs the shit out of it. He essentially directs Sam Raimi Evil Dead 2-ish, turning the main character into a Looney Tunes
Absolutely.
April
But he was
pointed out
Bugs
he's
Bunny.
Bugs Bunny. He'll pop into frame.
Yeah,
he'll,
Someone's
That's great.
standing there and looking around them, and then he'll just pop in from the side, and the way it's framed is cartoony.
that's the shit that Edgar Wright does, and everybody's like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's really funny.
He was doing it
it's
years
very well
before.
directed, but going to the backstory, the producers apparently wanted the director
Mm-hmm.
to just take the first movie, re-edit it into a whole new movie without shooting anything.
Yeah, and then the director was like, all right, how about you give me a little bit of money and I'll just go out and do stuff. I can
Right.
figure it out. So a lot of scenes are supposedly edited around where they were working and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, you were pointing out there's a movie theater. In this
yeah,
movie.
they're in a movie theater.
Quote
and
unquote.
April is that is the world's tiniest movie theater.
It's so small.
And then
And
we're
we
like, oh,
realized-
it's probably the screening room at whatever production
For a
company they were
studio.
working at.
It's
yeah.
like in movies where you have the director showing a movie to the
To the
studio,
producer,
and they're
yeah.
like, "We can't produce this."
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's that room.
It's that small little theater.
And we should point out that Ricky starts telling his life story, and he's essentially just killing bad people.
He's different from the kid in the first movie, which was Billy.
Yes.
Billy punishes people who are naughty. And then Ricky actually starts off just punishing bad people, but he's set off by the color red.
This doesn't come. Eventually,
they
they
add
just
that.
forget about it.
They
Well,
add
the thing
that.
is, he never really becomes Santa. You never see him in a Santa outfit.
Yes, you do. At the end of the
very
movie.
At the
end,
very end,
after
he
he
does.
escapes.
Mm-hmm.
The whole first movie was him in the Santa outfit, killing people. But
Yeah.
Ricky kills most of his, pretty
Yeah.
much everybody except one.
Without being
Without being
Santa.
Santa.
Billy was set off because he realized he was Santa, and he was raised to believe that
Ricky-
Santa punishes bad people.
Just hates, I guess, loan sharks,
and the color red.
which he sticks an umbrella up his butt
That
and
was
then
a-
opens it.
That
That
was a
might be
great
one of my
kill.
favorite things was this scene where he stabs a guy with an umbrella and then he opens the umbrella after it's through him and it's
yeah.
all dripping and covered with
It's great.
blood.
The kills are actually really
Oh
fun. in
yeah,
this
and the
movie.
coup de grace of that scene is it starts to rain
Yeah.
Yeah.
after he lands on the ground.
That was poetic.
But then it cross dissolves back to the psychologist, and he's got a sweaty brow, So it's all like all the
Yeah.
transitions
That's like
are really
100% an editor being like, I'm gonna make these 40 minutes count.
I know.
Lots of good editing.
I just said the umbrella thing, but the editing is also like my favorite part.
Yeah, they do a lot of
because-
intercutting between the original and this one.
And other than the beginning of the movie, which is like just whole scenes from the first movie, once they kind of get past that throughout it is actually creative how they keep cutting back to the events of the first movie, the events of the crime that set off this whole spree, which is a guy dressed up as Santa kills this man's family. Although he was a baby and there's no way he would remember this, but who cares?
Christmas is so far away from like Ricky's like memories.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Other than hearing this stuff happening to somebody else, I guess maybe witnessing Santa die in the
Saw
context
that.
of this movie.
But you think that's what he'd be thinking of, and not, the events that killed his parents. But it's
Which,
it's
yeah,
scarred
he was like a toddler, or not even.
He
was
was
a
an
baby.
infant. Yeah.
He looked like maybe not even a year old.
Yeah, but still, it's edited well, and it
At one point, they're watching the first movie in the movie theater.
Yeah, that's right.
I think they were trying to trick us or something. I don't know. It's kind of
It's very
hard when you've
meta.
been showing clips of the first movie the whole
It's very
time.
it's very self-aware. at
Yeah, I think it's
points,
very
and
goofy
it's
about
very
what it
funny.
is.
That's just what Ricky sees. He's just having
Right.
his mind is.
I mean, at that point, he
blown
kills
up.
someone who's talking in a movie theater. So good on him.
Yeah, I mean,
Off-screen.
like everybody in this movie that he kills, we're like, yes, it's
Because
totally
he
justified.
kills a rapist at one point
Yep.
Yeah, he kills
runs
the
him
loan
over
shark.
in a car.
multiple times.
Yeah, it's the guy who's out picnicking with his girlfriend,
Mm-hmm.
and then she won't give it up, so he's like slapping her around, and then like rips her shirt off.
And then she thanks him for killing her
he
boyfriend.
gets in the guy's truck and runs him over multiple times, backwards and forwards.
And then, the woman is like, thank you for doing that.
Yeah, they kind of lock eyes, and she says thank you.
But yeah, later there's a kind of an infamous death scene. This is another scene I had seen a clip of before, which is the guy who gets the spark plugs.
Spark plug.
The guy who gets the spark plugs in his mouth.
Yeah,
And
and
then
it just
his
keeps
eyes explode.
It just keeps cutting to a dummy head, and I'm like, oh man, what's gonna happen? I don't remember.
The build up is insane.
And his
the
eyes explode out of his
sparks,
head.
and then his glasses explode because his eyes explode. It's really good effects.
It's pretty great.
That scene, like, and because that goes right into the garbage day scene, and like
Yeah.
a crazy massacre,
Yeah.
almost feels like they ran out of money because so many things happen so quickly.
All in like this one.
Yeah, like suddenly,
walking
like
down the street.
they keep building up the fact that Ricky gets a girlfriend and he's hanging out with her, and then in this one scene, the jerk ex-boyfriend he
Yeah.
kills him, and then he kills his
girlfriend.
girlfriend,
It's
and then he picks up a gun because a cop tries to get him,
Yeah.
Kills a cop.
and then he just kills like drunk guys that
like-
walk out of his house.
It's
The
like we got
neighbors.
one location, we've got one day. Let's get
Yeah.
everybody here.
And that's just when he's just walking down the street doing his maniacal laugh.
That's his laugh is amazing because he goes from like pure glee to just like intense rage.
It's just back and,
he's just
back and forth.
What was your favorite part, Colin?
Within that scene.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit! There is an insane car stunt.
Oh yeah.
So this
Almost
car,
forgot.
it's a red car, of course, that enrages him. Is like going towards him really fast, and so he starts shooting at it, and he hits the engine, and then this car hits a ramp that's there. It's like a dirt pile. And the car flips over onto two wheels, and it's just one shot where the actor is standing there, and this car misses him by.
I think that was a stunt.
It was probably a stuntman from behind, but
It
still,
misses him by like an
like
inch.
it is
Yeah.
insane.
So that stunt was, and I saw it in the end credits, was actually done by Spiro Rosatos.
Okay, because you remember.
Yeah,
you called
I
him
recognize that name. He does a lot of PM Entertainment stuff, which is a 90s like direct-to-video action company. He did Maniac Cop 2, but most importantly, he is now the most famous stunt choreographer working in Hollywood.
Really?
Yeah, he did all the recent Fast and the Furious movies. He did
Holy
Kong
shit.
Skull Island. He does
Really?
so much stuff. He's a stunt coordinator and a second unit director.
Wow.
So like he does, tons of stuff.
Yeah, that was insane. I mean, that was generally, I was not expecting that.
in a slasher movie, and one that's kind of odd like this. I didn't expect a car to blow up, and that.
Oh, yeah,
and
we
then
didn't point out.
and then it blows
flips,
Oh, yeah,
lands
sorry.
on its wheels,
and then immediately
explodes.
blows up.
Yeah, it rights itself, and then it just explodes.
Yeah, but that's cool. That's something you see in like a Jackie Chan compilation, stunt
Yeah.
compilation. It was like, holy shit, that's amazing. So that was fantastic. That was great.
And the movie essentially wraps up with Ricky. He murders his psychologist that's interviewing him. him, and then finally he gets out, gets in a Santa suit, and goes and visits Mother Superior, the woman that tortured him and his brother.
Yeah, and she's a horrible monster in the first movie.
She is the main villain of the first movie,
Yeah.
and then she kind of disappears for part of it.
And in this movie, they couldn't get the same actor, so she appears with horrifying, like, mutant makeup on
It
her
looks
face.
like she has like face cancer.
They say she had a stroke. No, it's like a radioactive.
But,
She's
like,
turning into like the
face-
Toxic Avenger or
face
something.
melt.
Yeah, it
melting.
literally looks like that. So half of her face is covered.
But what's so great about the ending is it's a deranged young man in a Santa suit terrorizing a old woman
In a wheelchair.
in a nun's habit with an axe, and we're like, yeah, get
Like,
that
kill her,
bitch.
kill her.
I mean,
And
I'm
it's
not
an
gonna
extended sequence too.
I'm not going to go into the details, but her character in the first movie is like a monster who is abusing children.
Yeah, you
It's
see it again
awful.
in the recap, and I'm like,
Yeah,
man,
you see
like,
it.
And they
she really
even
was a
introduced
monster.
her watching a Christmas parade and being like, ugh, stupid
Oh,
Christmas.
it's sacrilegious.
Yeah, so you're like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
kill this
just
monster.
it's a bit
We
confusing
will not
because
have a war on Christmas.
you see the original actress and then you see the new actress, but like you get it.
Yeah.
The point's
Get it.
across.
I think that's why also they had her wearing the nun's habit.
Oh,
because
yeah.
they said she's
Absolutely.
retired.
Isn't like, can you retire from being I guess you can from like normal service.
You don't get out. No, they take you out and they whack you.
Does that mean she's allowed to have sex now?
They promote
wait,
you.
I'm no
Finally,
longer
she can go to
in
Bone
that.
Town.
No, they
Exactly.
they take you to a party and then like, hey, why's the furniture covered in plastic? And
Yeah.
Or they like sew the
send
nun
you the
habit
guy.
to her. She's like, I can't get it off.
Vito Fanucci says hello.
Or maybe it's just like pajamas. Like she's going to sleep, so she wears her nun habit.
But I'm really like upset that Ricky died at the end of this because
He doesn't die.
I would have seen. Oh wait, okay.
Yeah, the film ends with
Shot
him.
multiple times.
Yeah, opening his eyes and smiling, and he would be replaced by Bill Moseley in the third one.
I just
Really? He's
I,
supposed to
wi- I
play the
wish
same
he was.
character?
He's playing the same
I
character.
wish he was in more movies because he's so funny.
in the third one. Wait, it's either him or Billy. I think it's probably Ricky, but he has half of his brain is like clear plastic.
What?
'Cause,
Oh my
yeah,
God,
it is.
what?
Kidding.
The third one was directed by why is that name
Brian
escaping me?
Yuzna?
No, he's the guy who did Two-Lane Blacktop, and he did like a bunch of art films. He worked with Roger Corman a lot. I'm gonna find the name. I'm really embarrassed that I don't remember.
No,
what it is.
we'll cut all this stuff out.
He did Cockfighter.
Oh, Cockfighter.
Yeah, that's a
Cockfighter.
famous like artistic Roger Corman film that Roger Corman swore. Oh, it's Monty Hellman. That's his name.
Okay.
Yeah, he directed
thinking-
a lot of art films.
I was thinking of Cock Puncher, the Steven Seagal movie.
no, from the Onion movie.
Exactly. Cock Puncher.
Steven Seagal is a terrible, terrible human being.
He is.
Even though Jean-Claude Van Damme was pro-Trump around the election period.
Oh, so everyone's awful.
Yeah, well, yeah.
We're just Canadians, though. What do we know about American politics, right?
What do we know? Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
that Trump, man, not that bad a guy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Ford.
back to Christmas. Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Oh wait. Oh yeah.
Colin
great
set
movie.
me off with his Trump.
Sorry,
impersonation.
sorry. And then we get the so right when he's about to kill the Mother Superior with the axe, she says, "You've been naughty."
Oh, and the best line of the whole movie, he goes,
naughty this.
Axe goes up, and then but you don't really see him hit her. But then later, she's just sitting at a table, and,
and
then
then the cops come in, they're like, hey, Mother Superior, are you okay? Let me
Hey.
tap you on
Yeah.
the shoulder.
It's like the Psycho ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then her head falls off.
her head falls off into the cycle.
Not a drop of blood on her nice white
no,
habit.
clean cut. So apparently he doesn't die, even though he gets shot by the cops.
No, he just smiles at the end.
Right before
Yeah.
credits, yeah, you smile, and then something comes at camera.
Yeah,
You don't
it's
see
like
what it was.
it's a Santa clad hand with a knife coming toward the camera.
It didn't really read.
It doesn't- it
though.
doesn't
No,
read
too
very
fast.
well.
I said Santa clad hand, like
I know what you
Santa
mean.
flesh
Clad.
yeah, bunch of Santas on it.
Santa
I'm
suit.
wondering. Yeah, it seems like an ending that you'd have in like a 3D movie or something.
Yeah,
in the
it-
80s.
That's like an
Yeah.
ending where like the producers like, how can we like spice this up a little bit?
Yeah.
Have the audience at the end be like, whoa.
It was just confusing more than anything. It would have been better
Yeah,
if
you
it
could see
just
the
ended with
producer
him.
going, "Yeah, see," and it's like, this movie isn't in 3D, right?
And
Like,
you also know
oh.
there's like 40 minutes. Most people have left at this point.
Yeah, it's very weird. I mean, like, I would have no problem if they just cut out. Well, first of all, you have no reason to see the first movie if you're going to watch this movie. Because
No.
they literally cover the entire.
I
movie.
know, but I'm happy that the experience of watching the first movie
sure, yeah.
was enjoyable But
it feels different than like the clip show that they show.
it
'Cause
does.
It does, but it's like they're literally compressing the entire movie down into 25 minutes.
I mean,
Yeah.
you guys pointed out you miss when Linnea Quigley gets picked up and stabbed on antlers. You don't get to see the antlers
that's
go
right.
through her flesh.
Yeah, so
yeah,
the
we saw
clips-
the uncut.
Yeah,
or
the clips are
unedited
from the
version.
edited version, so you don't get all of the gore. So definitely seek out the original, the uncut Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 1. But if you haven't seen the first one and you want to see the second one, like I think you're fine.
Yeah,
'cause-
there's not many laughs in the first one.
No,
it's not
like-
a funny
No,
movie.
like-
you could probably skip like a lot of the flashback in this.
No, but
movie,
if you
like-
haven't seen the first one, though,
yeah, you can just
yeah,
watch the
I
second
I
one.
feel
No
like
problem.
if
yeah.
you could just watch the second one and get the gist
Oh,
of the first one,
absolutely.
but if you want to see, like, because the first one's not really funny bad, it's more of just
It's
like
more
a
grim, yeah.
regular slasher.
But speaking of things that are funny and that you don't need to watch the first one,
the
or do
Polonia
you?
brothers. Oh,
We're talking about Feeders 2 Sleigh Bells.
we're going back to Polonia Town.
Now, this may be the first returning filmmaker, I believe, to the No Such Thing as a Bad Movie podcast.
I think
I
so,
think so,
for a
yeah.
director anyway.
We talked about the Polonia Brothers on our episode about Splatter Farm,
Farm.
which was like a bunch of 16-year-olds or 18-year-olds doing the craziest things on camera.
Their
Here,
first
nasty.
movie.
they're a little bit older.
This is like 10-ish years later?
10-ish years.
so this is like 98. You said.
Yeah, 98, even though it looks like it was shot in 87.
Like April was like, this looks like 89 or something like that.
In
but I think
every way.
it's just the fashions and the way the house is decorated.
In
and
Pennsylvania, the 90s were the 80s, and the 80s were the 70s.
oh man, finally your thesis paper on Pennsylvania pays off.
it's like, wow.
The wardrobes of retro
You
Pennsylvania.
just read that on the Wikipedia page.
And so Feeders, the first one, was somehow a huge hit at Blockbuster when it came out.
like Blockbuster Video.
Blockbuster Video. I think it had something to do with like Independence Day coming out at the same time. Both movies are about aliens. So I don't know if people were fooled. Like, I don't know what Blockbuster policy was. Because I feel like if I spent $5
Yeah.
on Feeders and someone was like, just like Independence Day, I'd
Yeah.
be like, what the hell is this?
It's like, what's
Want
your
my
name?
money
And let me
back.
talk to your manager.
But you know, the thing about renting videos is if you rented it, you'd
Yeah.
watch all of it. Like, you never rented a video and went, I'm done, like 20 minutes
Yeah,
in.
I can't recall
because you have nothing
ever-
else to watch after that.
I can't recall
Let's
ever
just note
turning
this.
off a
What
rental.
extras does this VHS tape have?
Even if you don't like it, you gotta watch it.
So Feeders 2 stars Mark Polonia, one of the Polonia brothers, in all of his mustachioed glory.
Oh, it's just amazing.
Big Coke bottle glasses are back. He basically looks exactly the same as he did when he was a teenager.
Yeah, like maybe shorter hair and
And we were very confused because they show some clips from the first one.
Again.
That he's also in, but then we found out that it wasn't him, it was his brother John.
playing a different character.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because like, why doesn't he recognize the aliens? He doesn't seem to have.
He almost seemed to be having nightmares about the aliens. So we're like, and then they're also showing flashbacks. So I was like, okay, so he's remembering the first movie, but no, he didn't meet the aliens yet.
So Mark Polonia is in his house. It's the 24th of December, just like Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2.
But before that, it opens with a person in speaking to someone
With a
who
tape
has
recorder.
A large tape recorder, and he's
that's
recounting
right.
the first movie.
It's the other guy, the non-Polonia brother from the first
first
movie.
one, yeah. And I should point out, I haven't seen the first one.
Us
I don't think you need to.
and again, because the flashback pretty much summarizes the entire movie.
Yeah, there's a flashback in the middle of this movie.
Yeah.
It goes on for 15 minutes.
It is really long.
It's actually, I would kind of prefer that to Silent Night, Deadly Night, where it's just front-loaded.
Yeah.
This had a
Yeah.
little bit at the front, and then there's a big section in the middle, and then that's it.
So, like, my favorite thing of this movie was Mark Polonia's family in the film because it's him, his wife, and their 2 kids. And, like, his wife is so... I don't know how I want to put this. He shoots her from a low angle, looking like a 9-foot giant.
Yeah,
And she has
constantly.
hair from, like, 1984.
It is.
It makes her look real boxy.
Like
the clothes,
so
too, but-
feathered, and the hair's.
It's short. And,
clothes are very
and she
frumpy.
also has big glasses, but shooting her from the from the bottom, from
looking
down
up.
from down low makes her look gigantic.
There's one conversation where it's a low angle on her,
Yeah.
and like a high angle on Mark Polonia for some reason,
Yeah.
and he looks like a tiny person talking to her.
Yeah, and then they cut to like a side shot, and then the two of them walk towards each other to kiss, and they're both exactly the same height.
It was confusing.
And she is not. an actor because she delivers her line like, "Hey, honey, the holidays are coming. We have to go do something."
Let's be clear. Nobody in this movie is an actor.
No, absolutely right.
Well,
but
the
also,
kids.
maybe she's just playing a clinically depressed person because
Kinda
she's like really down, like, oh, I gotta wrap
Kind of like Hulk
presents,
Hogan
I'm
was playing a
tired.
bald man in
Exactly.
Mr. Nanny.
But yeah, the kids are the best actors in this movie, and now
Because they're
that's
kids.
crazy. I know, but that's usually like any other regular movie. The kids are the worst actors.
And at one point, like, you just see the kids playing, and it honestly feels like just home movie footage that they got. And just
Like I said,
edited.
it was like footage that you'd shoot and then just bring into Black's camera and just say like they'll make a compilation and put some like shitty Christmas music over it.
Oh, well, we're cutting to the chase, or we're burying the lead, is what I want to
Oh,
say.
did you find
Yeah.
your favorite thing?
Because I mean, my favorite thing were the actors in this
Okay.
movie, but the aliens in this movie. If someone wants to take this as their favorite thing,
you can. I have a different favorite thing.
I have a different favorite thing.
all right.
All right,
So
well, let's
let's just
talk
talk about
about
the
aliens.
aliens,
Okay, they're
because
great.
they are amazing.
Yeah,
they
they're
are
great.
craft store aliens. They're like a styrofoam ball with two, like, I guess, like putty
It's
for
almost
red
like,
eyes.
It's like
Yeah.
buttons or something.
Yeah.
Glasses, and they
Little
have
teeth.
like you can see like the paper mache like fabric that they painted over. You can see like, the hot glue,
And they have the strands of hot glue. You
But
can
it's
see.
a good thing they treat them like the shark from Jaws, right? And you
Yeah.
barely see them.
No, they keep
you
showing
see
them
a
over
lot
and
of
over.
them.
They're kind of cute,
They're-
but they're
they're-
bad.
There's a shot of like their legs walking. That's
Yeah.
so funny.
They're so
'cause-
spindly.
yeah.
They're
like spider legs.
They're like coat hangers or something.
Yeah, that's right. Because I was like, they're thinner than like a pencil. They're
Uh-huh.
thinner than chopsticks. What's thinner than that?
I don't know.
Probably a
String.
coat hanger. Yeah, they're the thinnest legs I've ever seen.
Yeah, they're not like the shark in Jaws. They're like, Roy Scheider in Jaws. They're like they're there all the
It should
time.
literally be like the feeder aliens and then co-starring Mark Polonia and then from there, because they're in it so much and there's so much of their point of view that it always sounds like they're screaming as well. They're like,
They have two sounds they make. And then there's like a.
They do the they do the kind of funny thing like
getting into mischief when they're doing
Yeah.
the gremlin shtick.
It's like when they're on the spaceship. There's two on a spaceship that they keep. There's just two interacting. That they keep cutting to them in this like cardboard background spaceship, and that's just they just keep cutting to.
Well,
it.
you're talking about the amazing CGI graphics.
Okay,
in
yeah,
this?
this was some like early work by Industrial Light and Magic.
That's right.
Snow, the alien ship, and by the snow I mean the snow that doesn't quite fill the entire screen.
Yeah, it's like about 20. It's just like a snow element that they overlay onto the screen, and it's like
Yeah,
it's about
it's
20
classic.
pixels shy of reaching the right edge of frame. So they just stretch the snowflakes.
But you know that like that took a week to render in their probably home computer.
Their home render
all
farm.
the exterior shots of the UFOs are like, I'm assuming it's probably like the video toaster Lightwave or something like that.
yeah.
You know?
I mean, speaking of outside, every
Yeah.
time they step outside, there is a hellish howling wind.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mix on this. It's
Not
like,
just the mix, the choice of sound effects. It's always very loud, and the clock.
constantly the
Oh, the
clock,
clock.
ticking inside. It was just.
I mean, speaking of loud, I think I know what your favorite thing is, Colin, and I think it's a little cameo, isn't it?
what do you mean?
Oh, you
What?
forgot about that?
Well, I don't know. My favorite thing is Santa Claus is in this movie.
Oh wait, no. Let's save that for last because I
That's
was
the
going to talk
cameo.
about
Okay.
the. At one point, Mark Polonia is at work, and when he drives to
Oh,
work,
God.
he's like, "Man, I love the holidays." Speaking to no one, but when he gets to work,
yeah.
suddenly his boss appears, and he's like, "What are you doing, you asshole?" And he's just screaming at him.
He's like,
Yells
those
at him.
insurance claims aren't going to fill themselves out, you son of a bitch.
It's-
You're not going home. You're going to miss Christmas.
It's like the guy from Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. He's like just loving it. He's tearing the scene
I was going
apart.
to say the guy from Network. He's like, "I'm mad as hell,"
yeah,
kind of.
he's like a raving lunatic.
He's tearing him a new one.
and he never appears again. It's just a Scrooge joke.
yeah.
no. But
He was
anyway,
kind of the best actor in the movie, I think.
Santa Claus is also in this. You're forgetting about the other great actor, the guy who played Santa Claus.
Oh, God. Okay, we got to talk about this Santa Claus. So out of
Hang on.
nowhere, it's like in the middle of the movie.
Yeah, so the feeders on their spaceship run into Santa's sleigh, and just to set this up, there's like, first of all, it's Santa and his elf. The elf gets like thrown off, so he's dead. And
They get
then
attacked by the feeders.
When
Like,
when they run into Santa's sleigh, it's like a guy just like flailing around in a Santa suit. suit mixed with literally a toy.
That's
toy
amazing. I
of
love
Santa
it.
in a sleigh with his reindeer just in front of that fake snow, like
with the CG snow over top, and it's
it
like
was
stretched.
adorable, but it was also really funny.
It's pretty funny. It was very random.
I feel like we're making this sound way more exciting than it actually
You
is.
turned to me
Hey.
like, wait, Santa exists in this?
Yes,
in this
because
world?
like
Santa exists in
this
this
movie
universe.
is just like these aliens essentially hanging out, just kind of
Yeah.
like drunkenly walking
They
around.
Really
eat
not
a
doing
few.
a whole
They
lot.
eat a few pets
Well,
and a few people.
first of all, they eat the cat, and it's a running thing. If you see a cat in a horror movie, it's going to die.
awful.
And then they eat a woman with a very hourglass-like figure.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
this is like
she's
old
got
lady.
love handles.
So
No,
this
she
is
doesn't have love handles. It's just like it's an 8 essentially.
no, yeah. She went and she's got like 2 Christmas hams in her pockets.
And she's got big pleated pants. And then later they kill the dog.
Yeah, who has a little cat?
I was swearing up and down. They introduced the PTS dog.
Yeah, they introduce him and he
PTSD.
has the saddest, scaredest eyes you've ever seen. And then you realize it's because he has a little broken arm.
It looks like it's at the beginning of the movie, and he's under like I don't know, a bed or something. And he's just staring at the camera with this horrified look. And
Yeah.
He's got
That
what's
dog
that,
is
what's that
shit.
called? Like
He's seen some
the
shit.
5 mile gaze or something?
a
Yeah.
1,000-yard stare.
1,000 yard
Yeah.
stare.
And we're like, is that a still frame? It's just this dog.
Oh yeah,
No.
because I mean, if you've seen a Polonia Brothers movie, there's never been a still frame that they won't just hold on.
And still frames actually always crack me up, so I was happy to see it.
There's actually a couple of shots of the wife and the kids that I swore were still frames, but then they blinked.
Yeah, that's not moving.
It's the illusion.
They were just staring
You know,
at the
if the
camera.
Polonia Brothers are anything, it's like Orson Welles, magicians of the screen.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well,
But anyway, back to Santa Claus. He comes in and kind of helps save the day by blowing up the aliens. And he's wearing a horrible like mall Santa outfit. And then like the
At
guy
one point, Mark tries to
Yeah.
like grab the beard.
and he's
goes,
like,
"This beard is
"Hey."
real, you
and
idiots.
it's like the curliest, like
the
shiniest
fakest
beard
looking
you've ever
beard.
seen. And he kind of sounds like Pee-wee's doing a really, really weird voice.
sounds like
Barney
Barney
Gumble.
Barney Gumble.
And we're not
Fozzie.
joking. It's like,
It's a
oh!
very strange choice by this actor.
It's
I
very
can't do
weird.
Barney that well, but he's like, "Don't cry for me, I'm already dead."
And then he like transports a bomb into the alien like spaceship, and it
Which
blows
makes
up.
the same ticking sound as
their clock.
their clock. So we were like,
like a cuckoo clock.
It even cut back to their house.
Yeah.
And you hear that tick, tick, tick.
Yeah,
and we're
this-
like, is there a
this
bomb here?
Sound effects
Wait,
mixes.
did we jump over what your favorite thing was, Colin?
Well, right at the very, very, very beginning of the movie in the opening credits. So the opening credits, and again, as I do, I get up to go to the bathroom. You know,
And you
the-
miss the best stuff
the,
every
the opening
time.
credits are playing, and there's this, music.
Yeah.
This sort of like
song.
80s music, which is fantastic. I'm like, wow, this is really cool. And then I go to the bathroom, I come out again. It's still going. Still going strong.
With these Star Wars holiday special style.
Yeah,
Like,
the title card was like, whoa!
It's like
flew at
Superman
ya.
the movie,
Yeah.
And this thing goes on and on and on, and it was like, wow, is this the feeder's too sweet?
I can't actually remember how it went, but it's actually a really good song. But
We can play some of it over this.
it's like
I'll play
10
it right now.
themes, like one after the other.
yeah, it's
The
amazing.
Feeder's
It's
Too
like
Sweet.
it's like the movie's like 3 hours. They have an intermission in the middle, and this is what they play when you're going to
This is
get your
music-
popcorn.
No, this is the music they play as people like come into the theater and like
Yeah.
the curtains are like already together. And, oh, the movie's not starting yet.
Oh, this is something.
Get ready for it.
it's synthy.
This is something you could play. You could see like Yanni or John Tesh playing like in concerts.
Who's Yanni?
Live at the Acropolis. He's like a famous Greek
I have no
new
idea.
age music artist.
Okay.
Well, and this is a movie that like every moment reminded me of like my house when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And like everything is carpeted, every chair you're like,
Decor.
my eyes.
Yeah, it looks like they filmed it in like the grandma's house or
And you
the
know,
parents'
they
house.
didn't have that much money to spend on the aliens because we know what they spent it on. And it's those sweet bathroom curtains.
Oh
They're
my
shower
God, yeah.
curtains.
Now, back in the day, some people had like lace or real curtains over the rubber shower curtain.
It looks-
We were never rich enough to have
These
that.
are like shiny copper.
They were like orange, like creamsicle, from what I
They're like,
recall.
the silk of yaks.
Yeah,
This is what we
it's
built
like-
our shower curtains
The finest
ridiculous.
silks from the Orient.
And that captured our imagination for quite some time.
We couldn't stop looking at them like, wow, this is what millionaires' shower curtains look like.
And the rest of the set design was, I mean, it's not set design.
It's your grandma's
a
house.
Yeah,
it's,
it really
it's what was
is.
in the house, you know. And then we can't neglect to mention the very, very end of the movie, where Mark Polonia goes to open a present, which is, by the way, the exact same looking present that had the bomb in it that went on the spaceship.
These movies don't have that big a budget. They got to recycle.
Yeah, well, because I was like, oh god, it's the bomb box. So he goes to open it up,
And
what
happens?
happens?
Feeder pops
A feeder
up.
pops up. Whoa!
But you guys have to see the still frame from this movie.
Yeah, they do a freeze
They
frame.
do a freeze frame.
Because like Mark Polonia has the expression of like someone who's been at work for like 8 hours.
It's like the Mike at the
He doesn't even
convention
react.
phase.
He's
where
just like,
he looks so
Do you think
sad
like he
and
did it like a
depressed.
second after, but while they were editing, they're
Exactly,
like,
yeah.
we just gotta like just end it here.
For
No,
some
they
reason-
probably froze it on the camera. They hit pause while they were recording. And like they couldn't time
That
it
was our
well enough.
only box.
Ah,
We
well.
can't do it again.
Yeah.
But I mean, Feeders 2 does have a lot of holiday content in it.
No,
It's Christmas
absolutely.
the entire,
It is-
entire way through.
I
It is
can't
100%
believe-
a Christmas movie.
I can't believe Santa showed up. I really wasn't expecting that.
Using a gun that Colin went, I had that gun.
Yeah, he shoots one of the feeders with this. I don't know. It's like an 80s. I don't know.
Like a toy ray gun?
You know what? I'll find it and I'll post it. But
Santa is also made of static. Because when he uses his magic powers,
He has static
He just turns
powers.
into static.
yeah, it's like probably a video toaster effect or something like
Yeah,
that.
video
It's
toaster.
about
The
that
woman
Wow.
time.
comes in and turns the page.
Yeah, Kiki Stockhammer wipe. It was about that time. It was like 98, right? And
Yeah.
we said to one another, like, wow, well, it was 98. This is a year before The Matrix.
Came out.
And this looks like it was shot in the 80s.
Also, it looks like a little worse than Splatter Farm, which
does
was
look worse
their
than Splatter
first
Farm.
movie, which was 10 years earlier. So they didn't progress, but the heart is there.
But I think that what's missing from this movie is that like teenage splatter farm, like we're gonna do the grossest stuff
No,
possible.
they're adults
Yeah.
now, and they
Yeah.
grew up and they have kids. I
Because like
guess.
that, the gore's not there.
The kids are in it, and
Yeah.
you can't
when
have
someone
the
dies,
gore
you
is
go.
not there at all.
you can't have someone being anally fisted and having their feces rubbed in their face.
Yeah, like for the kills, like so they had like a close up of a monster mouth, and they have the little feeder puppets that obviously don't have articulations. Show that you have them like basically just like beating people with those, and then a close up of the little mouth, and then they just have blood on them.
My
cut.
favorite shot of the whole movie was they're trapped in their bedroom and the little feeder hands come under the carpeted door.
Yeah, I thought
and
those
it's
were
like-
their feet for some reason, but
Paw.
they
It
didn't
looked
have
like
long
it looked
feet.
like a little cat's paws
Yeah.
coming under.
Yeah, except they're the spindly
that's so
feeder feeder legs.
That was
for
pretty
arms.
Wait. So this is a Christmas movie, Colin.
Yeah.
What is a Christmas movie then?
Okay, well, I will say, okay, there's a lot of debate going around on the internet about
Yeah.
what is a Christmas movie, what isn't a Christmas
Very
movie.
important debate.
Christmas movie, it depends. Like some people say Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Sure.
I say it's a movie that takes place at Christmas. But if that's all that's required for it to be a Christmas movie, then sure, Die Hard, Shane Black's movies are, other than The Predator,
Yeah.
which is a Halloween movie, I guess, because it takes place at Halloween.
Just like John Carpenter's Halloween. Not really a Halloween movie. Just takes place at Halloween.
Right? But also it's called Halloween, and
Well, that doesn't matter.
it has some themes.
As per your rules, Colin.
I would say that
I
in
think
order
they're
to
not hard
qualify
and
for
fast.
a Christmas movie, Christmas has to be kind of woven into the plot in some way.
Are you trying to say that the Wesley Snipes, Woody Harrelson classic Money Train is not a Christmas movie?
has
That's
to be
on regular rotation. They mention gifts all the time.
That's
There's
fine.
tons of Christmas references.
It has to be woven into the plot.
So like
Is Lethal Weapon a Christmas movie? That takes place during
tough.
Christmas as well. Iron Man 3.
it's not about Christmas. I would say like Christmas has to take a prominent role in say the plot
Like,
of the story.
or at least like the setting, you mean?
No.
not even
Colin
just
is-
the setting.
Okay, well,
Christmas movies, Miracle on 34th Street.
so Trading Places isn't a Christmas movie?
No,
that is absolutely.
What?
Yeah,
No,
but
no, that doesn't
Colin,
follow
the
your
plot
rules.
doesn't actually have anything to do with Christmas unless it's also
Listen,
a New Year's
the
movie
argument
too.
that you're making
I'm
is
sorry.
if you took Christmas out of this movie, would it make a difference?
Right.
Because you could still do Trading Places
Yes,
without Christmas.
you could still do Die Hard without Christmas.
For sure. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. Trading
And
Places.
Having
yes.
saying this, I disagree with Colin.
Well,
if
I
Christmas
mean,
is in it, it's a Christmas movie.
I
But it has
think-
to be throughout Christmas. It can't be just one scene.
I think Christmas has to be in at least like 75% of the movie.
No, 100%.
Well, wait, that's how do you count the percentage of?
If there's Christmas at the beginning
Or
and
New
it's still
Years.
at the Christmas period by
New-
the end of the movie,
Yeah.
technically it's Christmas.
And the Christmas
I-
period is New
technically,
Year's
yes.
as
Yes,
well.
okay.
Technically, okay. And I would say I'm not saying that.
you hate Christmas.
I am saying by my definition, it's a movie that takes place at Christmas or during Christmas.
Okay.
It's not what I would consider, that's a Christmas movie, a Christmas themed movie
Yeah.
that I would put on at Christmas and, it's the holidays and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. So no Money Train during Christmas.
Hey, I'll watch Money Train
No, I
during
Come
Christmas.
in Peace starring
But
Dolph
I get
Lundgren.
what you're saying,
Fuck
though.
yeah.
Something like Die Hard or Money Train for you isn't something that you would put on as it's a
This
it's
is the most
Christmas.
Money Train that has ever been mentioned.
I would put those movies on at Christmas or any time during the year. I wouldn't say if you told me like
a Christmas movie
put
for
on a-
you is a movie that you wouldn't put on in July because you're like, it takes place during Christmas. I'll save it for Christmas. I'm making your case for you here.
I wouldn't watch.
I
Which
kind
I
of agree with that.
disagree with.
No, I kind of agree with that. I don't put Christmas
depends.
movies on in the summer.
No,
I'd-
me
I'd
neither.
wa- you know, I wouldn't-
What about Christmas in July?
What is that?
Hey, I would watch Santa with Muscles anytime.
well, because it's so sunny and warm in that
thing
movie.
is,
I think this is a silly argument, and it doesn't matter.
It's a ridiculous argument, and it doesn't really matter. Watch what you want to watch.
All right. Well, if you want to watch these two movies, Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 was just remastered for Blu-ray by Shout Factory, I believe, right?
Scream Factory.
Scream Factory. Oh,
what's
sorry.
the difference?
They're the same company. They're just like a sub-label. I think
Oh.
Scream Factory worked separately from Shout Factory as well.
Oh, okay.
But I can't 100% confirm
Is
that.
one like horror? One is
one is
something-
horror, but they also deal with like genre stuff as well, so
One does very loud movies.
that's
Yeah,
right.
and this Blu-ray is packed with special features.
a 75-minute making of.
Yeah, and
Crazy. It's almost as long as the movie.
Yeah, there's a couple other featurettes, and I looked it up today. They're selling one with like a figurine.
Yeah, they are.
Really?
With
Yeah.
a Ricky figurine.
I think it's like $65 or something.
Does
but
he have the
it's
garbage
pretty-
day sweater? Like-
No,
That's
he's dressed
funny.
as Santa, I believe.
It's
and you can
like-
only get it through Scream Factory. You
Well,
can't buy it in stores.
That makes
that's
sense,
funny.
but that's funny because that reminds me of like Nintendo selling their games with amiibos. It's like
What?
you
What is
know,
an amiibo?
It's a little figure, but it also like does things in the game. So if you touch it on your gamepad, you might get like a bonus or a life or something. But
yeah.
I have
if you put
one.
the Ricky doll on
Yeah.
your tree, someone will come and murder
Comes to
you
life,
in your
yeah.
home.
Oh yeah, it should be like an ornament. I don't know if it is. I think it's just a
And then like the little Tweety ball, the
yeah.
button, and it goes garbage day.
Oh my
Every
god!
time you walk
yes.
by and you're like, how do I turn this off?
Oh, I
Why
want a
did you
garbage-
throw out the pin in it?
I want an app that reminds me when it's garbage
And
day.
it just
Yeah,
says
well,
garbage
I gotta
day.
say,
Garbage day.
Garbage.
fairly often we do say it's garbage day
Yeah,
on
I do.
garbage
I
day.
do a lot.
And Feeders 2, Sleigh Bells.
It's available on a DVD that has
Oh.
Fears 1 on it as well, but it's really out of print, so keep your eyes peeled for it.
That's like a bargain bin thing. Like you might see it in like.
But it's one of those things that like it appeared in the bargain bin, and then like no one really cared about it, so it's now even more difficult to get.
Yeah.
But you could probably get it on Amazon, something like that. I wonder if the Polonia Brothers have an official website they probably sell their films from. I don't know.
Check it out though.
Camp Motion Picture releases a lot of their films, so
PoloniaBros.com.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if this has been said, but I would recommend both of these movies.
Yeah, they're totally fine. Like
yeah,
I
it's
said,
totally fun.
Yeah, especially
Especially if someone's like, oh, I don't want to watch like a Christmas Story or Die Hard or other Christmas films.
yeah. Well, speaking of which,
Shane Blackburn. It's a Christmas.
speaking of
Long
which,
kiss goodnight.
I wanted to talk a little bit about what some of my favorite Christmas movies are, because I like the. Your Christmas Vacations, your Home Alone, like all that stuff. But like, other than that, ones that I think are maybe not as popular. I already mentioned it, Trading Places. Watch that every year. I don't know
Really?
if
Around Christmas?
Yes, and that's
Do you
like a watch
understand what
every year.
happens at the end of the movie?
What with the stocks and stuff?
Yeah.
No. All I know is
Nobody
some buy,
does.
sell, who knows?
Donald Trump's like my favorite movie.
I love that one, and it always makes me laugh. We used to watch like A Christmas Story when we were kids, but I'm just so sick of it now.
Everyone's sick of that movie.
Wait, is that the
TBS ruined everything.
24 hours.
You know, I
of
have to.
Christmas
Yeah.
I have
Story.
to admit something. I've never seen A Christmas Story.
Shocking.
I'd say it's definitely worth seeing once, but I liked it a lot as a kid.
I've only seen
but
the Santa scene where he kicks him down the.
That's,
Yeah,
I gotta
that's
say
right.
that might be like the only funny scene.
yeah, and then when he gets.
It's not a funny. It's a very depressing movie.
Oh, sorry. No, I saw the Fragile.
Well, that's
that's a
funny
good
too.
scene.
Must
Okay,
be
yeah,
Italian.
okay. There's other funny scenes in it, but I just saw it way too much as a kid, so now I need like a break. But my other favorite Christmas movie that needs to be talked about is A Christmas Carol starring George C. Scott. Now, most people I think don't know about this because it's actually a TV movie. It came out in 1984, and that's another. To me, that is the definitive Christmas Carol. I haven't seen a Muppet Christmas Carol. I'm sorry,
I just watched
everyone.
it for the first time last year.
Oh,
Great
really?
songs.
Yeah, so I
Oh,
probably
we
need
got
to see that.
Muppet. Is it Michael Caine?
Yeah, it's Michael
Okay,
Caine.
it's
But like,
Michael Caine.
I didn't know who George C. Scott was when I was a kid.
No, he's
You're
from,
like, I
uh,
love it. Patton.
Yeah, he was great in that movie. Man Gets Hit in
Strange
Groin by
Love,
Ball.
My groin.
Yeah, David Warner is also in this, but I highly recommend that version of A Christmas Carol if you can find it. It's really good if you are a fan of the Christmas Carol. A Christmas Carol?
Is anybody a fan of A Christmas Carol anymore? Like, it's been
whatever.
adapted so many
know,
times.
I know.
I
It's
think
like-
that people are though. I think that it holds a special place in a lot of people's
There's like a
hearts.
thudding, like, I have to go through all these story beats every time I watch a version of the movie.
Oh, it's like watching a Robin Hood movie.
No,
It's
I
like
no,
Jesus
I-
Christ.
That's
Oh,
insane.
God
I don't want to watch
almighty.
all these other versions. I just want to
What
watch
about
the George C.
Scrooge?
Scott one. I don't like Scrooge. I'm sorry.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
Scrooge so
There's a
much.
little too much yelling and beating in that movie.
Whoa.
Beating is always
that one
funny.
specific
I
scene,
never.
I guess.
I'm not into.
Carol Kane beating up Bill Murray.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, I'm not. You know me. I'm not into the Halloween. Like,
Not into
holidays.
holidays.
Children.
I have no ritualistic thing that I do or movies that I watch.
Yeah, because your parents were like, "Hey, it's the 25th. Go work on the driveway.
get me a pack of smokes.
Oh, another
Here's some meat. Good meat."
another guilty pleasure movie of mine is The Holiday.
There's no guilty pleasures.
This is the Nancy Myers. I watch it every year.
Oh, the holiday?
Yeah, have you seen it?
Now Jack Black,
Yeah,
Jude Law, trade wives, I believe.
Cameron Diaz and Kate Winslet. I watched it the other day. Yes, I watched it, and it's like 2.5 hours.
Oh my God, are you
It's
kidding?
long.
They're so rich in the movie too.
They are.
Like every
Everybody,
Nancy Myers
all these,
film.
all
They
these
re-
Christmas
Dude,
movies. This is
that-
ru-
Not a Christmas Story. They're poor in A Christmas Story. Yeah.
That's
just
not Nancy
white
Myers.
rich people, and it's like Gary Marshall's directing.
Gary
something.
Marshall had nothing to do with this
No,
movie.
it's Nancy Myers. Gary Marshall was in the room for a second.
It's
there.
Nancy Myers.
But yeah, I have to call it a guilty pleasure because it's bad, it's corny, but it gets me every time.
Hey,
Does
well,
it?
she was.
Yeah, I always cry
she
at
was
the
crying.
end.
I was
What about-
laughing.
Just a little bit. Just a
You're
little-
laughing at her.
No, there was.
It's a,
There was a
he
point
was.
where,
It's a
Cameron
dumb-
Diaz-
She has to do the whole run to the boyfriend at the end of the
She's
movie.
running back to Jude Law, and I was laughing so hard because the scene went on so long.
And the music is like
And
swelling.
she's running
It's-
through, and I was laughing and pointing at the TV, and I turned around, and April's crying.
What about
I
Love
got
Actually?
misty. Well, the thing about Love Actually is that's another bad movie. I used to like it. Now that I'm more woke, I realize it's terrible.
I like the
But
Muppets Love Actually.
The Muppets Love Actually.
He's just making a joke.
Oh.
But Love Actually is another like guilty pleasure of mine. Like it's a bad Christmas movie, but look at the cast. You know, you got Bill Nighy and
You got Kermit the
Alan
Frog.
Rickman.
Michael Caine.
It's not bad, but that's not one I watch every year.
No, I think I watched. Man, I haven't watched The Night Before Christmas in a long time.
I've
Love
never,
that movie.
I've never seen that movie.
It's great.
saw it as
I
a
also
kid.
watch Gremlins. Is that it's technically
that's a Christmas
everybody
movie.
forgets it's a Christmas movie. There's
Yeah.
a lot of Christmas in that movie.
Her dad died.
Yeah,
as Santa
that's right.
Claus.
Going down the
It
chimney.
had an impact on the plot.
I love all the Christmas songs in that movie, and that they become like iconic, like to the scenes. you know?
Everybody forgets in Gremlins too. She tells the same story about President's Day.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And halfway
It's like a
through,
joke.
Zach Galligan's like, "All right, I don't want to hear this. Let's just keep going."
We really got to watch Gremlins too, Colin.
Again.
Yeah.
All right,
it's-
I'll have watched it before the next podcast.
My favorite Christmas movie of all time. Before I get to that one, people should watch 3615 Code Père Noël. It's also known as Game Over, but it's being re-released under a different title that I don't know what it is.
Yes.
It's a French film that was made before Home Alone, but it's like Home Alone if it was rated R.
It's the same plot, essentially.
Yeah, except
Kind
it's
of.
set in a giant Terry Gilliam-esque mansion.
Oh, Jesus, that
Where,
sounds
like-
horrifying.
It's really good.
Yeah, where a psycho comes after a kid who's home alone one night on Christmas Eve.
Psycho dressed as Santa.
And the kid dresses up as Rambo and tries to take him down. And
Is
it's
that even like
horrifying.
available for people to find?
It's probably out there. I know that AGFA is doing a bunch of screenings. Like I know we're doing one in Toronto coming up. So check your local listings to see
Yeah.
if it's playing. If you speak French, I own the French Blu-ray, which is a 3-disc super duper special edition.
In French, it's called Le Ray Bleu.
Le Ré Bleu. Yeah, that's right. And my favorite Christmas movie is, of course, Jingle All the Way.
Oh, right.
Oh,
I know you love that movie.
Jingle All the Way.
Oh my God!
Like I know that movie almost by heart.
Really?
Me and Emily, my partner, watch it every year, every single year.
I can't. I think I've only seen it once. I mean, I've
So good.
Yeah, we watched it last year.
Okay.
But it's a good movie to put on in the background. Is
no,
what
you
I'm
give that
gonna
your
say.
full attention.
yeah, you can't not give it your full attention.
I
'cause it's
prefer
so-
to not give it my full attention because the couple years that I didn't, I enjoyed it more.
What?
Because you can just ignore it.
Balthazar.
You
You need
can-
to sit beside me when I'm watching because I'm like,
I don't even. Who's Balthazar?
oh, it's well, you got to watch the movie.
Yeah,
There's like
watch
an
the movie to find
animatronic
it.
deer.
Balthazar.
An animatronic
He punches
deer,
a deer.
that he punches, and he gets it
Yeah.
drunk.
And then like Jim Belushi's in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And there's like a Santa Claus fight, and it's Arnold in his everyman face.
Yeah, it's like
Jamie, I have to get the double man.
just a businessman,
That's
but I
the whole
look like a
movie.
bodybuilder.
It has a great performance by
Phil Hartman.
Sinbad.
Phil Hartman.
No,
not
not
Sinbad.
Sinbad.
Sinbad
Phil
is
Hartman. The most reprehensible.
Well, Sinbad
vile...
in that movie, he's trying to get a gift for his dead son. So
Yeah,
Okay, we
so
talked
he's
about
a-
this last time. That's
He's a-
like
he's
that's
a little-
hilarious.
he's a
Phil
little
Hartman, though, has so many good
Oh,
lines.
he's
You
so
can't
good.
bench press your way out of this
Yeah,
one.
that is pretty funny. See, there's parts of it that are really good.
No, all of it is good.
I just
It's
take
like a mail bomb joke.
take
oh, that
take
tastes
no.
of the 90s.
You take Sinbad out of this movie.
No, Sinbad he's like a screeching demon,
Oh,
like
he's-
an evil dead-like
Oh, he's like a
creature.
bad-
I
Banshee.
don't mind Sinbad. I just wish he was. I wish he took it down a couple notches.
just so
That's
obnoxious.
all.
And if you watch Phantom Menace and you're like, I wish I could watch more movies with Anakin Skywalker in them,
Yeah.
boom, he's right
Oh,
there
that's
for
right.
you.
I thought you were going to say that Sinbad was in Phantom Menace.
He was in the original first cut. He played Jar Jar, and they're like, we need to tone this down a little.
Tone it down.
yeah, it's
Make it
too
more subtle.
too cartoony.
What's your favorite movie, Mr. Grinch?
Well, I have a story about the Jingle All the Way.
oh, okay.
So I was applying for jobs in L.A. This was way back in probably the late '90s or mid '90s. I forget when Jingle All the Way came out. But one of the places we were applying to was VIFX. So we're getting a tour of the facility, and they had the actual Turbo Man suit.
What?
And
were you like, can I get in it? They're like, yeah, you can. It works.
I was like, what the hell is this? No, it was a life-size cast of Arnold Schwarzenegger with the suit on it because they were doing the flying scenes with the jetpack.
Were they shooting like actual physical plates for it?
No,
Or-
it was the movie was all
Okay,
shot.
yeah.
So they just had it for reference for the CG department. So they had it standing there, and I'm like, wow, Schwarzenegger, and you could see his like body double.
And they're like, put that
Cats-
cookie down.
And they were showing us
neat.
scenes, and it was the
Yeah.
scene of him going around the flagpole.
And were you like seamless?
And they're like, so when can you start? And I was like, already on the plane flying back to Toronto at that point.
When
Like,
can
no
you
way.
stop?
They did not offer you that job, did they?
They did.
And
We were-
based on those scenes, you're like, I don't want to work there.
no, something else
Yeah.
came up, I'm sure.
You're like,
You could still
listen,
be in
I'm not
LA
going to
right
jingle
now."
all the way the time of day. But the Santa Claus 3, that's where I'm going to be. Which is also the film you're going to recommend, the one that
It's
you
like,
worked
listen,
on, right?
assholes. No, I worked on Santa. Okay, here's another story. So I worked on Santa Claus 2.
That's right.
What is that
Not a
one?
very good
Is
movie.
the
To this
Escape
day,
Clause?
I've never seen the Escape Clause.
Yeah.
To this day, I've never seen it.
That's the one that
We caught some of
Santa-
it on TV last year.
Santa doesn't get married, he will die.
Well, no,
Yeah.
I have to
Or
say,
was that the third one?
no, the third one involves time travel.
April's dad's place. We were watching the first time I'd ever seen the Santa Claus,
The first one, yeah.
and that movie
It's horrifying.
is shot so bad.
I
Like,
love that
the
movie,
cinematography
but yeah,
is so
it's ugly.
awful.
Yeah.
I'm in trouble.
That is like
I'm in big trouble.
one of the ugliest looking, the cheapest, most god awful looking movies. And then we got to the second one, and I was trying to point out the effects shots.
Yeah, the
That you did?
second one
That
just
I
happened to
did,
be
yeah.
on TV. We
What
didn't-
effects? Do you remember what you did?
Yeah, I remember exactly what I did.
What was
so
it?
we
So
did
people can
the
keep their eyes peeled.
well, I worked at this piece of shit company. It's all
ILM.
It's now.
We don't need to go into specifics.
I won't name the name, but they're out of business now, so it doesn't matter. And so
Their passion project, the Santa Claus 2, put
they
them
did.
under.
So Phil Tippett's company was actually working on this movie.
Wow.
They were doing the CG reindeer. We were doing the CG elf village or
Okay.
town. So this
Yeah.
the opening scene of the movie. It flies down into this like ice cavern. It looks fucking horrible, awful.
And you worked on that?
No, I came in way later. They'd
Okay.
already done it. So I had to populate the town with the CG elves. So my
All
only
little Collins walking around.
they were. So I actually went out into the parking lot and filmed myself.
They are.
Oh yeah, they are. And
But you know what? We watched that scene. You really can't tell.
they're so small.
It's so
but
far-
I went
it's
out
so
to the
far
parking
away.
lot.
Can someone add to IMDb a credit that says Elf and Santa Claus?
Somebody get us a
So,
screenshot.
okay, there was no motion capture back then, so I would film myself in the parking lot skipping like an elf and doing all these movements. And then I made CG elves, and then I would
okay.
match move them to my movements.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
things
it's pretty
that you
funny.
used to have to do.
But to this day, it looks so bad. And I remember going. Somebody went
I
down
want to
to
go look at it right now.
Somebody was hanging out with Phil Tippett's crew in LA, and they were just like, they went to see a screening of the movie, and one of the producers, when the CG Elf City came on screen, one of the producers was like, Jesus Christ. It's like, does this fucking company know what the hell they're doing?
Oh boy.
It looked like
Ouch.
just garbage. Anyway, that company is gone bankrupt.
And that's a terrible movie, so don't watch it. Watch the
Don't
first
watch it.
Santa Claus.
Yeah, wait, what are you going to recommend? Sorry, I cut you off like 10 minutes ago.
Nothing, like I said, there's nothing ritualistic that I watch every year.
you
Like
don't
a
have, like,
ritual.
a-
There's a blank
But
screen.
you can't think of any like Christmas movie.
Well, I
that
used to
you,
watch like It's a Wonderful Life all the time with my mom. You know what my dad and I used to watch every Christmas?
The Wizard
What?
of Oz.
The Godfather.
The Godfather.
I know
Yeah.
lots. I've heard that from other
Every
people.
year.
For some reason,
Every
it's
year.
just some
Every
people just
Christmas
have a
Day.
tradition.
Me and my dad, we haven't watched it in years because it's so long. We used to watch all the Lord of the Rings films.
Oh, really?
And my
Okay.
dad would fall asleep like half an hour in.
Yeah,
Oh,
And
yeah.
then the
really
next day he's like,
Christmassy.
time to watch the second one.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but you're going to fall asleep. He's like, look, just put it on.
It's not Christmassy, but there are elves in it, so
yeah,
I think
that's
that
true.
counts.
And Colin
yeah.
actually rotoscoped those as well.
Oh yeah.
Orlando Bloom. That was all me.
The stunt double.
That was just me in a parking lot somewhere.
So you got nothing? That's
Well,
just
it's
one
just like we'd
wonderful
watch
life.
The Godfather. It's the weirdest thing. So we'd watch The Godfather or Midnight Run.
The Midnight Run. That's a
Yeah.
great movie.
They're not
Wait, does that
Christmassy
take place
movies.
during Christmas?
No, probably not.
But it's still
may have.
it's still a tradition, you know, whether or not it's a Christmas movie or not.
Yeah, and I like.
Yeah.
I'm not into that sort of thing. We watch
joy.
Home Alone is pretty much the only one that I've
I
watched.
watched Home Alone 2 endlessly as a kid.
Yeah, we had
I
it
don't know
on
why
VHS.
my parents got me the second one, but like over and over. That
I
movie
know.
is horrifying.
I loved it as a kid so
saw it
much.
for the first time last year.
Yeah, but you were like asleep for half of it. I don't even think you saw the whole thing. But yeah, as an adult, I'm like, oh no, it's all about Home Alone 1. Home Alone 2, I'm not saying it's bad, but it's just not. It went in a slightly different direction.
Home Alone 1 is way too dark.
No,
Like,
Home
he's, like,
Alone.
shoot-
Home Alone
Come
2 is
on.
way too dark.
He's shooting them in like a dick with a gun. and, like,
whatever.
lighting their
The
head
second
on
one,
fire.
he's throwing bricks at their head.
Okay, that's in part 2.
That yeah.
Have you
Okay.
seen the video of like the doctor going through
Yeah,
what
like
they're
what
injured?
would
Yeah,
happen,
exactly.
yeah.
That's so funny.
Okay, one movie I would recommend. It's a newer movie though that we saw a few years ago, which is great. Is Krampus? It's
Oh,
the new
I
Krampus.
love Krampus.
I like
Fantastic.
Krampus a lot.
From the director of the upcoming Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Yeah,
Is that
it's-
guy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Michael Dougherty.
Dougherty,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dougherty, yeah.
He did Trick or Treat as well. The
Krampus
anthology
is
film.
terrific. It's a lot of fun. Fantastic design.
Good cast.
Practical effects too.
Practical effects,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
design of the
I gotta
Krampus
see that
is
again.
great.
That's streaming right now on Shudder. If you have that,
Yeah,
or is
This
it
episode
Netflix?
is brought to you
Yeah.
by
By
Shudder.
Yeah, I think
Get
it's
your
on-
subscription now.
I think it might be on Netflix and Shudder.
None of that is true. Don't
Sorry,
do that,
we
guys.
we don't have a promo code yet. Oh yeah, we also have an announcement in the new year. We are going to be setting up a Patreon. So if you are interested in supporting this podcast, we will be letting you know information about that. And so we're also going to have exclusive bonus content, which we will let you know about in the new year.
Yeah, and like, you know, we like your support, but we also know you just want stuff if you give us money, and we'll be giving you that. Don't worry.
There'll be bonus content, and we may even set up a kind of draw where contributors get to pick a movie that we talk about. So lots of fun stuff to come in the new year.
Every month, we'll release a 1-hour Patreon episode of the little bird Tweety ball going.
Yeah.
A whole hour.
And you can listen to that and me shaking the jingle bells.
For an hour.
Yeah.
It's like one of those, what is it called? Those like videos where people are whispering. and stuff.
ASMR. We mentioned that last week.
No, it'll be like the new thing instead of like putting the Yule log on your Christmas tree, the TV.
You'll
Sorry.
just hear these bombs falling.
Just constantly. That'll bring you back to post-war England.
And if you want to email us, you can email us at nosuchthingasabadmovie@gmail.com. And if you want to tweet at us, my Twitter is @April@Mansky, and I have Instagram as well.
Wow.
Holy
Not a
jeez.
big Instagram fan. Got a little sad there.
That was the
I don't post very often, but when I do, it's usually food or alcohol.
You can follow me at DeClueJ, DECLOUX on Twitter, Justin the Clue on Letterboxd. I have an Instagram, and I don't remember what my name is on Instagram. You can just search Justin the Clue.
I think it's Declude.
Something, yeah. If you like to see photos of weird DVD covers and comic books, that's mostly all I post. And hey, get on iTunes and review us, because I don't even think we have enough reviews to have a star rating yet, do we?
Nope, we have. I don't know about
how
any
many do you have
written
to
reviews.
have?
I think it's like
2?
10 or 20 or something.
Yeah.
I know.
Obviously not that many.
I know I gave us 5 stars. I don't know about you guys. If all 3 of us give us a review, maybe
Maybe
it'll
those
turn
ratings
up.
will start to pop up.
Yeah.
like we've traced your IP address.
We're shutting this.
Yeah, we're shutting this
We're
down
shutting
for
this down.
fraudulent ratings.
Yeah.
You can follow me on Twitter. It's Sergeant Zima, SGTZIMA, and I think it's the same on Instagram.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. I hope everyone
holidays.
I hope everyone has a safe and happy new year. And remember, there's no such thing as a bad movie.
Naughty this.
Naughty this. Oh my god.
And don't be naughty.
Punish.